Well, it is still incredible to see all of these images that are coming out of the Houston area as people are dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. Almost a week now after the Category 4 storm slammed the state and brought days of flooding after. Thousands of people have been rescued and there are more still out there. The Cajun Navy has been helping officials with those water rescues by driving boats around town. And my friend Chris Pine is one of them. He joins us live this morning via Skype from Houston. Good morning to you, Chris. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us this morning. So we're going to talk about two things, your house and how that neighborhood is looking this morning. But first, I want to talk to you about what you saw the other day when you decided to go and help out with this Cajun Navy. Tell us, first of all, what that is and the incredible scenes that you were seeing out on the streets of Houston.
Yeah, good morning, April. Yeah, it's just it's really surreal here, and it's the worst of things and the best of things too. Just the worst, obviously, just the conditions, and it's really so widespread across the city. That's the unbelievable part. Houston's such a sprawling city, and it's really almost every area is affected. Some worse than others, but you know, you've got streets that have basically turned into rivers and areas, neighborhoods that are lakes, and they're just only accessible by boats.
Gosh, we're looking at this video you sent us when you were out the other day on a boat. How many people did you guys rescue that day?
Yeah, so we probably got about 75 people or so out of a townhome complex and apartment complex nearby. You know, it was just we had a friend's boat that we could launch effectively into this area, and a kayak off the back of that we went through these complexes and just pulled out people that were, you know, mostly with younger kids, babies, and older you know, older folks that needed assistance, and just pulled them out to really all the way through their complex up to the frontage shoulder of Interstate 10, which runs nearby. So whether there's people coming by, the freeways there are accessible. So just pulling them out of harm's way and getting them to a place where they could get to a shelter. So.
It's been incredible to see and to hear your stories of those rescues. So you and your wife and your 3 children are now living with relatives. And at the time you were thinking your house was probably going to be okay, so you went out to help others. But now the water's really not receding a whole lot where you are, and you think it might even still rise.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing. There's 2 reservoirs, real big reservoirs, whose purpose is designed to you know, hold a lot of accumulated rainfall from a lot of the other creeks and tributaries that run on the northwest side of Houston, and those reservoirs have filled over, you know, their capacity, and so there's uncontrolled releases coming out, but there's also controlled releases where they had to essentially let water out of those reservoirs, you know, for fear of the dams, you know, breaking, which they haven't. But those releases are essentially flooding the neighborhoods in and around that area, which our neighborhood's one of them. And so it's just the slow rise. The storm drains are totally full, and you know, you've got water over the curbs, and it's continued to rise overnight. But it appears that latest news is that we think it might have stabilized. They're not totally sure, because they're dealing with really unprecedented things that they don't have the models for to know for sure.
I guess stable is the most you can hope for at this point. Then when do you think you'll be able to go back home?
Not sure. It's the latest news this morning was that, well, to put it into context, there was a pretty bad flood around tax day earlier this year, and they had to release from that event for about 3 months. And this was easily twice as bad as that flood. So
really
it's not sure. We're not sure, but it's impassable on the roads. So you know, as long as there's that much water, it's going to be around for a while.
Boats and not cars. Gosh, it's incredible. So we know you've got a lot on your plate. So we appreciate you taking the time to join us this morning, and we wish you the best of luck in the entire city of Houston. Just know that we're thinking about you here in Arizona. Thanks, Chris.
No, thank you. Appreciate it.